All right.
Let's rock and roll, baby.
Beautiful. Welcome to the first ever Not in Hall of Fame video, and I'm here with Chavo Guerrero Sr.
Classic, baby.
Chavo Classic. We're here in Bandera, Texas.
Bandera, Texas. Yes, sir.
The home of Chavo Classic, and the reason why we're here is Chavo's going to help us out in a very special project.
It's going to be my pleasure. It is going to be my pleasure for Not in Hall of Fame and Chairman of the Board, Kirk Buckner, who is your unidentified voice. He doesn't like to take much credit, but he is the man. So, yay, Kirk! So, let's shoot, brother. Let's do it.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to
Welcome to Bandera, by the way.
A lovely town.
Yeah, it is. Thank you very much.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to count down the top 100 wrestlers as selected by NotInHallOfFame.com, who should be considered for the WWE Hall of Fame.
Sounds interesting.
I'd like to think so.
Since we started doing this earlier and we had some problem with our technology problem, let's just go through the requirements, or not the requirements, but the
assessment.
The assessment,
yeah,
of that Not in Hall of Fame. Not necessarily my opinion, of course, but first of all, it's an honor for me to be here. I will give my opinion, and only my opinion as to it pertains to that special wrestler that is mentioned here, and it will be an opinion on a one-to-one basis that I have interjected with that person. I will not give an opinion that it's it's allegedly. No. If I give you an opinion of this wrestler, it is because I have met with him, maybe not in different circumstances, but I know him personally, and I'm taking this way out, but I'm not here in no way to hurt anybody, just to give my opinion. And I've been asked to do this, and it's going to be fun, and I hope I don't offend anybody, and if I do, oh well, sorry.
So the criteria is as follows.
Okay.
Since it is the WWE Hall of Fame,
yes, sir.
It has criteria number 1 is their impact in the WWE.
Okay, that sounds fair.
Criteria number 2, their overall impact in wrestling, whether it's the WWE or not.
That's I can do a lot on that, yeah.
All right. Number 3, innovation. Is wrestling better because he or she or they participated in it?
Well, I can already answer that right now, but go ahead.
All right. Criteria number 4, over how they fare in terms of legacy. Not everyone. Some people have become big stars, but they don't necessarily age well.
Age?
Well, everyone's got a certain legacy in mind.
When you talk about age, brother,
no, not in a bad thing.
I'm not saying it's bad. That's where I want to keep it.
And the most important criteria is what the fans on the website have to say. Votes matter very much at Not in Hall of Fame.
We're here for the people, and we're nothing without the people.
Right, and so most of this is based on, so whatever will sort of change the rankings very much is what people go in, log in, and vote. We do take that into very high consideration, and we change that accordingly.
All right, just so that people know what I want to hit on next, can you repeat the third criteria, which was?
Innovation.
Well, I think it was something like, why should they be here, or should they be mentioned, or what made them come to this?
Well, is the sport better for them having been in it?
Well, but let's put it this way. If they didn't have anything to do with the sport in a better way, I don't think they would be in your list, right? So what I'm trying to do is just narrow it down more for me and for the people. If they're on this list for a reason, because I think you eventually had a list of 250.
250, yes.
Yeah, and we're narrowing it down to 100 because of time and everything. Not saying that we won't go back and that they don't deserve a mention by the great classic legend Chavo Guerrero, GUE like in terrific ERO, and you will notice throughout all these interviews that I will put the Guerreros over, but that's my job. Okay, when you're on the tube, you turn it on. I will try to keep it in the minimal, but don't be surprised if I give a little plug here and there. But anyway, back on the interview situation, if they wouldn't have been here, for an innovative reason or contributed to wrestling, they wouldn't be on the list. So we can kind of narrow that down. Everybody deserves to be here, and I'm honored again, like I said, to that you asked me to have some input on this category of not in Hall of Fame professional wrestlers.
Well, we're honored to have you.
To the WWE, even though I am not a member, my brother Eddie Guerrero is, and we're very proud of him. Extremely proud of what he accomplished in WWE, and let's keep on because I start getting teary-eyed. But let's go.
All right. So we're going to start the list off at number 100 and work our way down to number 1.
Okay.
We're going to start off with someone who I believe your brother teamed up with, Bad News Brown.
Bad News Brown. Bad News Alan Coage. Won third in judo in the Olympics. Good shooter, as we call it in the business and everywhere else. He could handle himself well. Alan Coage, as far as being in the WWE Hall of Fame, in my opinion, and there was one big thing about Alan. His facial expressions were not there. He could have been a lot better, a lot more suave. If our communication with the people is our facial expressions, if you're a heel, you gotta make the people mad. If you're happy, hey, and it's our communication. If you're in pain, you gotta show that pain through your face. And Alan Coage was just, he was too much of a shoot. He was too much. He didn't love wrestling, professional wrestling, the entertainment part, as much as he loved the shooting part of it. I guess that's the best way I could do it. Say it to give him credit. May he rest in peace. No, I don't think. This is a yes or no situation. It's not my call. You're asking me my opinion. I don't think he should be in the Hall of Fame. Why? Because in that case, everybody would be in the Hall of Fame. And I'm not demeaning him. I'm just saying we're down to the top 100. And then that's going to narrow down. And I think there's other people that deserve or have more qualities according to your categories and your assessments. Wow, that was some good food we just ate. The Mexican food is great. So yeah, I think he would pass in my book at this time with the categories that you're giving me.
Okay, number 99, another friend of Not in Hall of Fame, Marty Jannetty. Marty
Jannetty, very good friend of mine. Well, as good as can be in the wrestling business. He was in the wrong time at the wrong place. And what I mean by that, and Marty, please listen to me. Very sentimental, my Marty. He takes everything like, are you a rib? And we Guerreros, we rib a lot, so it's like, you kidding me? No. Anyway, Marty Jannetty was with Shawn Michaels, and one of them had to come up. And fortunately for Shawn Michaels, he was in a better position. He was in a better time. He performed a little bit better, and Marty just did some things that we all do, get into this business, and we make some mistakes, and unfortunately he got the raw deal of the stick, and he's very gracious about it. But we're not talking about who was the better wrestler right now. We're talking about WWE Hall of Fame. No, only because he didn't spend that much time in WWE. Okay, now again, this is WWE Hall of Fame you're talking about. Any other Hall of Fame, overall, flying colors, brother. But WWE, as far as I know, no. Excuse me.
All right, number 98, another good friend of yours and of the family, Dean Malenko.
Oh my God. Stars, throw firecrackers, let the festivities begin. Definitely, man, definitely. Dean WWE is, he is WWE. Not only you see a friend, in this business you have friends and you have amigos. In Spanish, in Mexico, most Latin countries. And amigo is just not a friend. It's like family, but not blood. If you understand what I mean. Somebody that you depend on, somebody that depends on you. They're just not blood related. And there would be many cases there's very few of them. Dean Malenko is one of them. Not only with me, but definitely with Eddie Guerrero and the whole Guerrero family. He's been to our house, and you don't let anybody in your house in the Latin community or the Mexican, or for that fact anywhere. Anytime you invite somebody to your house, somebody special, or they invite you, vice versa, you're special. Yes, Dean not only wrestled, but he's a producer at of this taping, and he has contributed a lot. He has a great knowledge up here for finishes. He can take something, and if they tell him we want this, he can take it, dissect it, and turn it around and play with it to where he gets the finished product and give it to the wrestler and make sure it fits the wrestler that it belongs to, and make it go. That is a Dean Malenko. And the way he delivers to the wrestler too, he has that report with the wrestler that sometimes somebody doesn't want to do a favor for somebody else. As far as now, we call it we all know this by now. Kayfabe does no longer exist to a certain point. So as far as doing a favor we call it a favor when you put somebody over. Hey, you know what? He's got to beat you. Would you please do him a favor? Dean has a way of putting that to where they don't get insulted, and he's just hobby. He's WWE, yes, definitely. Hall of Fame all the way.
Right, number 97, the first tag team we're going to discuss, the Nasty Boys, Brian Knobbs and Jerry Sachs.
Nasty Boys, I got some personal issues with the Nasty Boys. I love them to death, but they're just nasty, man. I mean, and I'm not talking about nasty and filth and all that. They did some things to Eddie that I didn't approve. But the worst thing about it, they denied it. They denied it, and I confronted them. But we're not. That is not one of the assessments to get into the WWE Hall of Fame. But I don't think they were there long enough, and I don't think they made that much of an impact. There's very many other tag teams that made a bigger impact than they did. Not that they didn't make an impact. Don't get me wrong. And on that note, that they're not together anymore, for the most part anyway. And I would not. I'd put it this way. Like I said, everybody that you have mentioned, that you're going to mention, that is on the list, deserves to be in all kinds of Halls of Fames. But with the criteria and the assessments that you're giving me, no. My opinion, that's my humble opinion, of course. I'm not Vince McMahon, and don't want to be. But go ahead.
Okay. Number 90.
Love you, Vince.
Well, here's someone I think you do love. At number 96, Chavo Guerrero Sr.
Where's the mirror? What can I say about myself? I mean, if you're going to talk about Chavo Guerrero Sr., you got to talk about the Guerrero family. I would put Gory Guerrero way up there, of course.
Well, we do have Gory ranked, but we have him in the pre-WWF era in that section, so we don't rank him in this particular list. I'll cut you short on
that. The Guerreros should be way up there.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should all be in the Hall of Fame right now. Not because we're Guerreros, not because it's me doing this interview, but because look at the contribution. Look at not only my father, but my mother's side. My father met my mother through my uncle Enrique, which was a world champion, which is in the Hall of Fame in Mexico. So through my mother's side, there's wrestlers. Through, of course, my father, there's 4 brothers, my son, and soon to be, hopefully more. If not, nobody knows what will happen. A lot of many other uncles. I think Mondo counted like 13 or 14 of the Guerrero family. But talking about the Guerreros itself, in general, the 4 brothers and the 1 son, Chavo Jr. and my father. Who else has done more? I mean, not only here, but in Japan, in Mexico, in the United States, all over the world, conquered more championships. You can say the Boneros, you can say this, you can say that, but look at the facts. And I'm putting myself in, I know I only have limited time. Chavo Guerrero, I don't know if I really want to be considered to that category as myself, because I don't know if I would like to be in there as myself. I think WWE is a Hall of Fame. I'm not going to say it's a joke. I don't think it's a true Hall of Fame for wrestlers. I would say it's a Hall of Fame for entertainment. Now, if they nominated me, and of course I would accept with flying colors. It's a WWE, but I would accept. I would think that before me, certainly my father. But they haven't offered me, so why you cry over spilled milk, man? Yeah, definitely. But the criteria you can give me, are you kidding me, man? 63 and still wrestling? GUERR, like a terrific ERO, and if you can't understand it, I'll put it in Braille. GUERRERO, Guerrero. So, I think I saved my case on that.
I think so. All right.
Hey, you brought up
I did bring it up. At number 95, I'm afraid to bring this name up after our conversation today. Number 95 is Hillbilly Jim.
Oh my goodness, your cousin Hillbilly Jim.
Yes.
You know I love him. Who cannot like Hillbilly Jim? But as a wrestler, brother, he doesn't even know how. Have you ever seen? And I say this about, I don't know if you got Vince McMahon in there, but okay. And you know, just I'm not afraid. I don't have nothing to hide. I don't know anybody money. I haven't stolen from nobody. And I'll say this: have you ever seen Hillbilly, just like Vince McMahon? Have you ever seen them in a wrestling pose? No. If you do, I'll kiss your ass or give you a whatever. You have, because they don't know how. So as far as the wrestler, that criteria is out. As far as contributing, well, he contributed a lot of fun, but you know, that's why they let him go, because he wasn't selling it. I don't know, man. And he's not there anymore. I think they still use him once in a while, but no. There's a lot more.
I think he's under a Legends contract, but I'm not sure.
Is he?
I'm not.
Hey,
100%
good for him. He's milked it, man. He milks that cow. Good for him. But as far as being in the WWE Hall of Fame, I surely think that he deserves it more than some people that have been in there, like quote unquote Pete Rose. Hall of Fame than baseball. Couldn't agree more. But in wrestling, come on, give me a break.
Actually, I interviewed Pete about that. He said the very same thing. He said he's not a WWE Hall of Famer. He loves wrestling, and he was sort of honored to be part of that.
You know what? I hadn't heard you say that before, and I didn't see the interview, so I guess I'm still a little sane, right? That's all, folks.
But no, Pete said the exact same thing.
You know, you asked me my opinion, and by the criteria and your assessment, if he takes it wrong, or if he said, he probably won't even care what I say, which is all fine with me too. No, I don't think so.
Okay. Number 94, the assassin Jody Hamilton.
Oh, without a doubt. You know, Jody Hamilton is one of... A lot of people don't know about Jody Hamilton. He's very humble. But Jody, you know, he went as the assassin. He helped so many people. I mean, unbelievable. Not only his work in the ring. He never had a Hulk Hogan body without steroids. Hey, it's the truth. But, you know, he was always a big man. But his work was, oh, man. I mean, you work with him. I think I don't think I worked with him one time. Excuse me. He was like a feather. As big as he was, I said, "Oh my God, he's gonna kill me." It's a feather. I mean, you couldn't even feel it. And in this business, it means a lot. Plus the fact, you know, that he was not only a wrestler, he was a booker. He worked WCW. I think he did a little work also for WWE behind the scenes. On TV, good TV guy. He knows his TV. Of course, his son, Patrick. Yes, definitely. With or without a mask. Definitely. Jody Hamilton. My brother.
Number 93, Canadian strongman Dino Bravo.
Dino Bravo. Yeah, well, you know, Dino was involved with a little mafia situation there, and he even told me so himself. You know, Dino got killed. He got assassinated from, quote unquote. Don't come after me, Mafia. Yo no soy Cosa Nostra. But anyway, definitely, man. You know, Dino was one of the guys that, and I'll touch on this real brief because Dino told me himself when I was with WWE. And Dino wouldn't talk to a lot of people. And I'm not saying he didn't tell anybody else. I'm just saying him and I just clashed just like some other guys and I don't clash either. But Dino and I had a good relationship as far as, you know, talking and letting out and outside the business, as far as traveling, you know, you sit down and have breakfast at an airport or at a hotel or dinner and you know, and you start chatting about something else and And he told me that Vince McMahon stole his territory right from under him, man, in Canada, right from under him. So he was a little bitter about that, and he's like told me, he said, "What do I do, man? Just I'm here, I gotta work." But he now does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? Getting back to focus here, I love him, but not too many people remember him. I don't. As far as votes, I mean, I would vote for him, but I haven't. His name is not there right now. Now we're talking about voting right now, right? I mean, like if there were people were to vote right now, definitely a Hall of Fame product. But he was one of the pioneers, brother. He was one of the pioneers before all this big, and with Vince Senior too. Plus, he was a promoter, and he has territory. Yes, Dino Bravo, of course.
Okay, number 92, Mr. Wrestling 2.
Oh, Rubber Man, Johnny Walker. Yes, Johnny, he said so many, he wrestled all over the world. Well, a lot in the South, North Carolina. Surely for Bill Watts, that's when I met him. Timing was fantastic. But in WWE, I don't know if he ever wrestled for WWE. Do you think he did?
Sporadically.
But see, that's where I get a little mixed up when you say, well, what they contributed to WWE. I don't think he contributed much to WWE, but he did contribute a lot to wrestling.
Right.
So yeah, I would think so.
And I think that's sort of, you touch on a good point there, because when they started the WWE Hall of Fame, the first batch of wrestlers inducted all had WWE experience. Or predominantly were known there.
Yeah, they were the nucleus of WWE, really.
Right, and then when they relaunched the hall, I believe it was 2004, one entry that I thought was a little bit interesting, but which I loved, was I think another good friend of yours, Harley Race. But Harley's all his contributions took place, his biggest contributions took place outside of the WWE.
Yeah, but they influenced other wrestlers that are in the WWE
right,
today.
But
so
that was sort of the segue for them to do other things. Then Vern Gagne got inducted. Vern never really had anything to do with the WWE.
Right. Actually, they were fighting a lot.
Right. Abdullah the Butcher, who just got in, he had only a handful of matches
got
in the
him.
60s.
Abby was, I don't know if he's a wrestler. Abby's Abby. He's in a category, or just like wrestling's in a category all by itself as far as wrestling entertainment. It's wrestling. Abby is, he's in a category by himself. Does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? Yeah, but I don't know if he's in the list. But
well, Abdullah's already in, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Love you, brother.
So with Abdullah's induction, and then there's been other inductions that don't really have a whole lot to do with the WWE specifically. So that line is changing.
Johnny Walker. He never shamed the business. He never did. I would definitely say yes. I mean, this is not narrowing it down to the last the few 10. You're asking my opinion, and yeah, without a doubt. I mean, he was an entertainer. He's surely could wrestle, and he was professional, and I enjoyed working with him and traveling with him, and he was wrestling, brother. He was Mr. Wrestling, definitely.
Okay, number 91, former ECW champion Raven.
No. Raven had a good rap. I never cared for his inside ring ability, although he had a lot of ability, but that's just my personal opinion, Raven. And he didn't take advantage of that situation when it was given to him as WCW. And then again, ECW was big because he was different, and a lot of that comes from Paul Heyman. But he didn't know how to do it, or maybe he was not focused, maybe. But WWE surely messed up. I think he had it. I don't know if he lost touch with it, or he just didn't like it anymore, or he just wasn't focused. And my answer is no.
Okay. I'm really curious on this one. Number 90, Brutus Beefcake.
Well, yes, Hulk Hogan, and he'll be in. It's just, he's the one who got him in there. Brutus is, no. I mean, the only reason Brutus got over is because it's like The Rat Pack, man. Well, everybody in the, you can't use that because everybody in the Rat Pack was talented. Use another era that there's certain actors that got in because they were there and they just happened to flow into the right. You make the right gumbo and all of a sudden you put some kind of other fish that's not supposed to be in there, but it tastes good because it's mixed with the gumbo. That was Brutus. I mean, you know, haircut and the hell of a body, but. As far as WWE, brother, without Hulk Hogan, put it this way: Hulk Hogan is in and he's not. So why? I guess Hulk Hogan didn't carry him, right? No. You got to pay your dues. Brutus, the only dues he paid was carrying Hulk Hogan's bag. That's it. I mean, all the way. And you know, I don't love him. I like him, but no. In my opinion, he's not WWE Hall of Fame material.
Okay. Number 89, one of the great big men, John Tenta, the Earthquake.
Oh, John Tenta. John Tenta, well, yeah, that's a hard one because he's such a nice guy. And, you know, he was a sumo.
Yeah, he was.
He trained sumo. I met him, never wrestled him, but I met him in Japan. We traveled many trips together in Japan. And when you travel with somebody in Japan, those long bus tours, with other other wrestlers and long tours, you really get to know somebody. Nicest man in the world, kindest man. Does he deserve a place in the Hall of Fame? I would say yes, because of his girth, his size, and his ability to work in the ring. And he was good for WWE. He was there when they needed him. He did a good job, and no more, no less. But he did a good job, and he came out smelling great. Yes, okay. I would certainly say so.
Number 88, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert.
Oh, Eddie died too young, brother, just like my Eddie, my brother Eddie. Yeah, brother, you know, Eddie, at such a young age, was a booker, well, not only a great, fantastic performer and a great wrestler, but, you know, he comes from a great wrestling family, Tommy Gilbert, and his other son, sorry, brother, I can't remember your name right now. But, you know, Eddie, I was with Eddie in Mid-South Championship Wrestling with Bill Watts. And what a talent, man. What a talent. Babyface, heel. And then he booked not in one territory, but several. He just got taken from us in a too early stage, man. Yeah, definitely, brother. Okay. Definitely.
All right, number 8.
And could have been a better, bigger, and more influential innovator if the Lord would have, you know, done us a favor. But, you know, he took it for a reason.
Number 87, someone who did have his career almost exclusively in the WWE, or the bulk of it, Tony Garea.
He's still there, I think.
He is still there.
Well, Tony, you know, he's, besides being the biggest tightwad in the world I've ever known, which is good, because he'll never buy you a drink, but he'll take all the drinks you can buy him. He's still there, man. Does he deserve to be? Hell yeah, man. Yeah, he's put his, if nothing else, and he was a hell of a worker, by the way. Good timing, good facials, good looking, good everything, you know. And he's been there forever. And I admire that. He has milked that cow. It's not how many cows you milk, it's how much milk you take out of one. And he's still there. He's a little moody. But this is not one of the assessments. Yeah, Tony's there. I think, actually, I already know he's there. He's going to be there. You can't ignore somebody like Tony. I mean, he's so much that he has worked for that company. He is a walking WWE guy, and he's loyal. He can't be loyalty, man. And Tony, for as far as I know, is a loyal man with WWE. Well, actually, that's the only one he's been in. So great.
Number 86, Butch Reed.
Butch Reed, my brother from another mother. Yes. The all-natural, the first all-natural, man. Butch Reed, brother. Oh, man, he was actually he was there, I think right before Junkyard Dog, JYD. I think he was before him. No? A little after? I don't know. But, you know, he's the first one that surely, well, there was Big Daddy Zeke and all that. But in WWE, I think he was the first black. At the time, when the big TV came in with WWE, Vince Kennedy McMahon, you know, and they had all this, bought out all these stations. They were in the right time at the right place, right station, prime time. Butch Reed, definitely, and besides the fact that I know not only do I know him personally, but you know we traveled. I'm like, I can remember so many stories about Butch Reed. We will stay here for days, but yeah, he definitely did good for the business. Good interviewer, good worker, drew money, and Mount Cressy mofo. Butch Reed, yeah.
All right, number 85, Haku.
Oh, brother.
As tough as they say?
Tougher. You know, he went. I took him down to Mexico. Well, I'm not giving myself credit. You know, I am a Jesus Christ person, and the Lord put me in a position where Haku called me, and he had just been released from WWE. Brother said, "You want to go to Mexico?" I don't think I saw him in Japan. Brother, I'll get you. Are you sure? Yeah, I'll go. First, he didn't sound too excited. So then I said, well, let me mention it to Paco. So I asked Paco Alonso Lutero, which was EML, Empresa Mexicana de Lucha Libre in Mexico. He loved it. I called him right there from his office. And I said, well, boom, boom. I translated. Of course, Paco could speak English, but you know, that's another story. Just like Baba could speak English, and every time he had a translator. And when you find out that he speaks English, well, what the hell's going on? I guess they do this too. I don't know. Anyway, he went down to Mexico and did great. Did amazing. Is he strong? And getting back to what you asked me, we used to go down to the, I'm not even going to plug the hotel because they don't deserve it. But we were staying at this hotel and we were at the bar downstairs and we used to hang there. And, you know, one night was party night. It was off night. We had cocktails and I wasn't there. I had gone up to my room. I think I had a personal friend come and visit me from the opposite sex, so don't get no ideas. But I heard, and I even asked Mondo, and they got it. You know, it happens. It happens in wrestling. You get a little too many drinks, boom, 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 boom. And Haku had this called the thing, brother, the thing. He used to call, and I saw him get somebody. We went to a bar one time, and some bartender didn't want to serve him, and said something to him. And, you know, I was like the babysitter because I was having fun, but I always had eye contact with him because, you know, you gotta. I was from there, and I was like the chaperone. I saw Haku take this guy from out back of the bar and put him down on the other side of the bar. But so that was the thing. So getting back, him and Mando got into it. So he got Mando in the thing, man. And Mando, you know, I saw him the next day, and he was like, "Whoa, man, what happened?" So he starts telling me. I said, "He put me in the thing, brother." I said, well, "What the hell is the thing, man?" So he started telling me. I said, "Ah, bullshit." He said, "That's wrong." He said, "Carnal, I couldn't get out of it." I thought that, you know, we're wrestlers. We can usually, you know, you don't. A lot of times you don't use strength. You just use your hook. You use your thumbs or what. So I couldn't get out of it. So to this day, I mess with him. You know, Haku really felt bad the next day, and he apologized, and you know, me making fun. I said, "I want the thing, brother. Put the thing. Come on, I dare you." But is he as tougher, and yes, definitely Hall of Famer. No doubt about that one.
Number 84, probably the last great manager in the WWE, Paul Bearer.
Paul Bearer, yeah. You know, he went right up there with certainly, without a shadow of a doubt, a future Hall of Famer, The Undertaker. He was right there with him. He stuck with him, you know, and God, he played his role to a T. I mean, I know The Undertaker. I admire him. I don't admire anybody but Jesus, but I admire him, and I respect his work ethic. That The Undertaker, he's always eager to learn about wrestling and holds and shoot, and he's always working out there with younger guys, and of course, without a doubt, his legacy in the WWE. But the Undertaker was right there with him at the beginning, man. I met them in Japan for the first time, and Paul Bearer, man, he just that character, ooh, and you know that eerie voice, and he was a perfect Undertaker. Exactly what you've been. I don't care if you were born 30,000 years ago, or you will be born 30,000 years from now. The Undertaker is the Undertaker, and he is exactly what you think an Undertaker would look like, or what you've been told, or what you read in the books. Exactly. Yeah, Undertaker, brother. There should be no doubt about him at all.
Okay. Number 83, Rikishi.
Kishi, you know, he comes from a big family, man. A big Samoan family. I think his uncles are in
The Wild Samoans are in Afa and Sika.
Sika. Rikishi, brother, definitely. All that family should be in, brother. All of them. Except the younger ones right now. Kishi's sons, the Usos, I think they're called, right?
The Usos.
Yeah, the Usos. Yeah, they still have a little bit more price. I mean, they have to pay their...
Well, Yokozuna just got in, so...
Who?
Yokozuna.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's what I said, all that family, man. They're great athletes. WWE is treating them good. They have taken advantage of the situation and drawn money for WWE. You know, Kishi and his dance and the butt snitch or whatever they called it.
Stink face.
The stink face. I used to ask Eddie and Chavo, and never could get a straight answer from. But I wouldn't. And I asked Kishi one time. He said, "You want to try it, Senior?" I said, "No." And he's still active, you know. He still got his wrestling school in Vegas and LA, and he still trains, and I think he's got another son coming up now. All of those Samoans, with my respects.
Okay. Number 82, Spiros Arion.
I don't know too much about Spiros, brother. He's an old timer, you know. I really couldn't. That's one that I'll have to pass on because I can't say yes or no.
Oh, that's fine.
You know, I know who he is, but I think I've seen maybe one match, and it was like I wasn't very, for some reason or another, you know.
It just didn't register.
Yeah.
No problem.
So no, I think I'll pass on that one.
Okay. Number 81, the franchise, Shane Douglas.
No. No, Shane went off somewhere else, man. He, very athletic, but I don't think either he's dyslexic or I don't know, man. Shane just in the business just don't. And he was going there for a while, and all of a sudden he just kind of drifted somewhere else. And even I saw it in his interviews, and you know, before it's not like now. Now I don't give a rat's ass about watching too much wrestling. Of course, if my son is there. Whew. But you know, WWE, TNA, about the same thing, same shit. They got, well, we'll get to those guys later. But no. Shane, my respects, but my opinion, no.
Number 80, Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Jimmy. I'm gonna say yes right away. Not only, he was a big major contributor to the Hart Foundation, which was big. He's got a daughter, which is not only very beautiful. With my respects, brother, to both of you, to Natalia and to Jim. But she's a good wrestler. Jim, I met Jim. You know, he was a football player, pro football player, and I met him the first time in Mid-South, man, with Bill Watts. And then I met him up there, and he changed his character very well. He adapted. He was part of that tag team, and just on the time that he put, just on the Hart Foundation itself, yeah, definitely, man.
Okay. Number 79, Magnum TA.
Unfortunately, Magnum didn't have that time. He was never in WWE. He was here in San Antonio for a while. He didn't cause that much of a thing. One thing about North Carolina territory at that time was that wrestling was Hollywood in North Carolina. There was nothing else. So they would take like Magnum PA.
TA.
Yeah, well, it was Magnum PI on TV, right? So he kind of looked a little bit like, what's the actor's name?
Oh, Magnum PI. Oh, Tom Selleck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, PI. Yeah, Tom Selleck, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So he looked a little bit, so they would put that on him. And there was a couple other things that so people really bought this. They were so back. Sorry, hillbillies, but they were so backwards in the wrestling people that they really believed it was him. I'm serious. I'm not fibbing you, and not taking anything from Magnum, from Terry Allen. Like, he was great, but he unfortunately had that accident.
Do you think he would have been world champion?
Back there, he would.
Yeah.
World champion. It's like Tommy Rich was a world champion for what, one day, but Tommy Rich couldn't wrestle his way out of a paper sack, but he used to sell tickets like a son of a gun, brother.
Yeah, he was
Big time.
He was very big in Georgia. Yeah.
It's like Dusty Rhodes. Do you think Dusty Rhodes should have been a world champion? Don't think so, brother. But he became twice. Why? Because he was selling tickets and little shabba noshi on the NWA president. And of course, Mr. Eddie Graham himself got him the world championship for a week. Big deal. But he was world champion. No.
All right, this one I really want to hear your opinion on. Number 78, Bill Goldberg.
Well, Bill will never get in because he's a rebel. And he told the WWE, and here, and here, and here. And the last match that he had, and probably his biggest challenge in WWE, was against
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar. And it was not a very good match. At this point, I would say no. And I love Bill, but I don't think he gives a rat's ass. I don't think Bill's really had wrestling in his heart, and just for that fact, I know he didn't. He was into wrestling because of the money. And I'm a Guerrero. We're into wrestling whether it's money or not, because, and that's not saying against none of me Goldberg. And if he gets mad at me, he gets mad at me. But I think he'll agree with me. He don't want anything to do with WWE. And if I'm sorry, Bill, but my personal opinion, and hey.
Number 77, Dominic DeNucci.
Dominic DeNucci. He's so funny, just in entertaining the dressing room. Yeah, Dominic's got to be in there, brother. All those old timers that started with Vince Senior and at that and continue with Vince Kennedy now, the kid. They all deserve to be on there because they stayed with him. And they were the nucleus of the Vince McMahon Sr. WWF.
Okay.
So yes.
Okay. Number 76, Dustin Rhodes, Goldust.
Dustin talks too much. He's very cocky and very prejudiced, just like his dad is.
Really?
Oh, big time. And he just got let go. And he's got a big mouth. But that doesn't have anything to do with... but you're asking my opinion? I mean, the Goldust thing happened, and then he got out, then they brought him back. And I'll tell you what, he is probably one of the best workers and entertainers. I'm not talking shooter. I'm talking about wrestler entertainer that I have ever seen. 20,000 times better than his dad. Because he just doesn't only do the elbow. But he does a lot. He's good. Cody's great, But just something about Goldust that he kind of everywhere he leaves a trail of people not liking him for some reason or another. And I think it's his narcissism. He thinks he's too big. And no.
Okay. Number 75, Psycho Sid.
Psycho Sid Vicious. No, brother, he wasn't there enough.
He was their champion twice.
Well, yeah, but what does that mean? Did he ever draw him any money? I mean, long run, enough to be to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Just with that alone, I mean, there's a lot of world champions.
True.
I mean, Bruno rejects to be in it. Psycho Sid, you know what? I'm going to change my feeling on that. Sakazin was a big man, and he was very, very agile. And I don't know, man. He got, put it this way, he got cut short because of his injury and the falling out he had with WWE. But I want to say, yeah, just only because you told me a lot of things, but he was their world champion and everything. Does he deserve? Anybody's a world champion for WWE deserves to be. I mean, I'm serious.
Okay.
In their Hall of Fame, right? Just like NWA. Anybody. If they consider him to be good enough to be in their NWA or WWE champion, then he should be in the Hall of Fame. Period.
Oh, fair, that's a fair assessment. Another big man, number 74, the One Man Gang.
Oh yeah, one man was not only WWE, he was all over the place, very agile. He would easy to work with. Another feather, you know, you give him a backdrop and you couldn't feel him. Very mellow. Great to be around, and contribution to the business was not only, you know, he hardly ever won, except at the beginning, but you know, he taught a lot of people how the business, and he didn't say much, but in the ring itself, he would teach you. He was a leader, definitely. He was a general, yeah.
Okay. Number 73, gorgeous Jimmy Garvin.
Jimmy Garvin, the free bird. You know, Jimmy Garvin, he's a pilot, and he's always been a pilot. He was into wrestling because of the money, let's face it. His love was not in the game. He was good, but he could have been a lot better. He got to be part of the Freebirds because he just fit in. If the Freebirds gets in, I think they should take him in along with Buddy. Well, Buddy, Bam Bam, and Michael. But I think Terry's there with it. But it's single, no.
Okay. Number 72, Billy Robinson.
Billy, you know what? Billy was too much of a shooter, man. I don't know. Yeah, you know what? I need to change that again. Billy was Billy. But the difference between Carl Gotch and Billy, I don't know who would have won in a shot. Everybody claims they could have beat each other. But when it comes to entertainment, Billy was more entertaining, more facials, and more business than Carl Gotch. And you know what? Billy had some great matches, man. And he was world champion in several organizations. And in Japan, very big. And I worked with Billy, and he was a dream to work with. Except one time, he didn't catch me when I did a dive, and I had a semi-concussion. But, you know, what the hell. But, yeah, that Billy Robinson in any organization. You know, people like that are few, very few.
Number 71, former NWA World Champion, Ron Garvin.
Ronnie Garvin, man. You know, you're asking me all these people. Ronnie's another one, another pilot, brother, for life. Ronnie, I think he got into it a little bit later. I might be wrong on some of these stories. You know, like I said, he was in another place, I was in another place. I know him semi-well. I'm not going to say very well, but, you know. He would deserve to be in anybody's. But he was mostly WCW. But now WWE owns WCW tapes, so yeah, definitely. Okay. Definitely.
Number 70, I believe someone who you taught how to wrestle, or was a hand in some of his early matches, Mitsuharu Misawa.
Misawa! No, brother. How can you say no to Misawa, brother? You know, he wrestled as Misawa, and then Tiger Mask, and then he became, you know, #1 in old Japan pro wrestling. Then he went off and did his own thing. And how can you say no, man? One of the biggest icons in Japanese wrestling. And he was also a high school wrestling champion, national wrestling champion. So, brother, definitely, man. And yes, I did help I watered that tree, brother, where it got big, and I straightened it out. The little that I did. Yes, a lot of boys in Japan gotta thank the classic legend. And I gotta thank them too. But anyway, Next cartoon.
Right. There's another one I believe you know very, very well. Number 69, Adrian Adonis.
69, brother. Adrian, definitely, man. He portrayed the gay guy, you know. He called me, you know, Adrian. I met Adrian here in L.A. When I say here, I'm putting my mind there, so it's not like that. Right now I'm in Texas, but in L.A. territory with at the Olympic, and actually I am called the what do you call him,
the Cupid.
The Cupid. I'm called the Cupid because of me, directly or indirectly. Fujinami met his wife. I introduced Adrian Adonis to his wife. I introduced Dr. Death Williams to his wife, and about 2 or 3 other ones. I don't know why, but it just happened. So anyway, Adrian was the first guy that they asked him to play the gay guy, and he did it so gracefully, and he was so agile, and I saw him wrestle with Mil Mascaras and try to shoot on Mascaras and not take Mascaras shit, because Mascaras was very unbusiness, and of course Leo Garibaldi got all over him. Yeah, Adrian Adonis, brother. Yeah.
So he talked to you before he had to do the gay gimmick?
Do what?
He talked to you.
Well, we used to talk a lot, and he said, "What do you think, Chavo?" And you know, I said, "Do it." He said, "You think I should do it?" I said, "Why not? You'd be perfect. You'd be perfect." And sure, and he turned out to be just the way Adrian was, and he put it into his character. He didn't go to the character. He brought the character into Adrian Adonis and gave it that flair, and was successful with it.
So essentially he nailed it. Which when a
But
lot
to
of
me, he did in his own way.
Because you know it's sort of funny. You looked at.
In other words,
you wouldn't have thought that would happen.
It was like, is he or isn't he? And you had that question. They couldn't guess him. They couldn't. Is he or isn't he? Sometimes he looked like he was. Wait a minute. And that's when you make money. When people guess what you're doing, that's when you're dead. That was Adrian. He always had that inquisitive, that question for he might not be, and the way he worked and the way it was awesome.
Okay.
It was awesome.
All right, number 68, suicidal, homicidal, genocidal, Sabu.
Sabu. You know what? I don't know too much about Sabu, brother. I know he did a lot with ECW. But you know, he's up there like one of those. You know, he's the Sheik's nephew. But if you're going to put the Sheik in, which certainly deserves to be in, then Sabu's got to be in just for carrying the name and carrying a name that as big as the Sheik. Might not have the Sheik Jr. on it, but he had all over it. He had it all over it, and he wasn't afraid to say, "I am the Sheik's nephew."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
In his own style, very definitely.
All right. Number 67.
And his agility. Oh, amazing.
Oh, very impressive. Definitely. Yeah. Number 67, Jackie Fargo.
I don't know too much about Jackie, brother. Jackie in the Tennessee territory, Memphis area, but definitely, you know, from what I heard, and I remember my dad talking about it once in a while, but I don't even think I met Jackie. But you know, just with the boys coming out of there, Jimmy Morton, what's his name?
Ricky Morton.
Ricky Morton, and some of the guys that would Ken Lucas and talking about him and this and that. And definitely like, brother. Yeah, I would say so.
All right, here, this will be a good one. Number 66, Ole Anderson.
Ole Anderson, the one, the midget, the fat midget, the blown up toad. Yeah, that told me, "Oh, you're too small to be in the business. You're too small for North Carolina." When he was short and fat. No, I think Ole Anderson is poison for the business. I think he thinks that he invented the business. He was obnoxious, cocky. Of course, he made it only in North Carolina, may I say, that I know of. If he wouldn't, and a good worker, just an obnoxious, cocky, repugnant, fat toad. No. You might take it personal. No. He didn't care about anybody else. He cared about himself, and he thought his shit didn't stink. No, in my book, zero, zip, niste, nada. No.
Do you think maybe he should have got in with the Four Horsemen?
No.
Huh? Okay.
He don't deserve to be in there.
Number 65, Nikita Koloff.
Oh, definitely. Definitely, man. I know. He's not only is he a Christian now, he followed. You know, when you say all this, I think about, does the aftermath after wrestling weigh a little bit on this? It certainly does to me.
I said, well, you know,
well, you're asking me, and it's my opinion.
You know,
in a way, it does.
You know, if you're asking me that, it's one of those things, because putting the criteria that I gave you was just criteria that I had to guess on. But when it comes down to a yes or no, and you're in the borderline, to me it does. And you're asking me, so that's it. Okay. Yeah, I'd say yes, because if you're on a bubble and if you're a really good guy, then yeah, why not?
Nikita Koloff, a great worker, very obnoxious when he was in the limelight. But I think we all get there when the ego and the me and the money, and you think your shit don't stink. And we've all gone through that. But some handle it a little bit better than others. First time I met Nikita. But you know, Nikita's another guy that only made it in North Carolina. Where else did he make it? Maybe he didn't go somewhere else, but maybe he didn't go somewhere else because... But does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? I think there's a lot of people using that gimmick. I think he was like one of the last ones to really be successful with it.
I think he was the last successful one.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
To be successful with it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so, man. I mean, that was, you know, at the beginning that was a good gimmick because they were the bad guys, and then all of a sudden the the Cold War ended and they became friends, and so. And it's just like the Japanese. It was the World War II and the atom bomb, but then after a while, the Japanese became no more. You know, you didn't need to be a good wrestler to be a heel. And back then, it was at that time it was just naming Tojo Yamamoto and wow, shit, you changed, instant heat, right? But yeah, there's deserved to be there. He's paid his dues. He even changed his legal name to Nikita Volkov, so he believed in it. He worked it. He lived it. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Number 64, someone who became a star at the age of 40, Diamond Dallas Page.
No.
No?
Yeah. No, that Diamond Dallas Page became a five-time world champion because of Eric Bischoff. And was his neighbor and biggest another big brown noser. I think I would put him in more in his video that he's got now, and this is a plug for you, Diamond. His what is it? His yoga video that he's got. I think it's awesome. But as a wrestler, please, are you kidding me? As a manager, maybe, but as a wrestler, no, man. And just the fact that he gets so mad when the people would react when they would call him a jerk. I've been a warrior, man. He would get so hot. But you know, if Eric Bischoff. He can be in Eric Bishop's Hall of Fame. No WWE, no sir. Well, here's a proof right here, okay? And I'll let the people handle it. I'm saying no, and here's my reasoning. He got picked up by WWE when they bought WCW, the contracts, but he was, and they gave him a good shot to become a star, and he failed. He didn't get over. He wasn't over. He couldn't make it. Period. Over and out. He got let go. That's it. So should he be in? No.
Number 63, Jumbo Tsuruta.
Oh, Jumbo, another Japanese person that, you know, he was easy to work with, great worker. He would work with anybody, made a lot of the boys. Certainly an icon in Japan. I met him in Amarillo. I was even wrestling there. I was with the Dory Promotions, and Dory Funk Senior used to, you know, have the booking agency, and they used to send boys down, and Tsuruta was there working with them. He would come down, and you know, he was an Olympic champion, national champion in Japan. Yeah, brother, without a doubt, Jumbo Tsuruta. Plus, you know, just the fact that he was, if not for Baba, because Baba was the owner, he was the top man. Okay,
number 62, Johnny Valentine.
Oh, brother. That shouldn't even be a question right there. That is one person that has got Johnny Wrestling Valentine. Yes, and I have to say no more about him. Never wrestled Greg. One of my first matches in LA, and I swear I thought my heart was going to stop. But I partied a lot with Johnny. My father loved Johnny. He was a hard man as far as, a river. Got a lot of ribs, a lot of stories on him. But his work, oh man, I learned from Johnny that you would get a hold and you would just look at the people and just stay looking at them. And just look. Without a stir, without a smile or nothing. And you could, and just get that hold and just portray it like it's coming out of his body. That the pain, and he's throwing it out, man. I'm getting chills, and he's throwing it out at your face, saying how hard I'm squeezing this. You're a hero, and he would get those people red hot, brother. Oh God, definitely. Give me a break.
All right. Hello. Number 61, Mike Rotundo.
Oh yeah, Mike Rotundo's up there, man. Great out of Syracuse, national champion. Married to one of the Wyndham girls. I think it's the only one, I don't know. Great guy, great worker. Hector and I had some great matches with him and Barry. Barry and Mike, what a tag team that was. And he's up there, as a producer. He's met that. His boys are in it, definitely. WWE all the way. Yes, sir.
Okay, number 60, Dr. Jerry Graham.
Oh, brother, he is in that category with the nucleus of WWE. Yes, sir.
So that's a definite yes.
Of course.
Okay.
There ain't nobody like Jerry Graham, brother.
All right.
Nobody. How many people go out and light a cigar with $100 bills these days? Nobody. How many people can run down the streets except there was only one other one that I can think could do what he could do, and that was King Curtis Iaukea and Jerry Graham. They were so over. They could just about do anything they wanted. Okay. And I think that was Vince McMahon's idol too, by the way.
I've heard that.
Yeah, but I don't know. So, just by that, I guess he would be. I don't know why he hasn't been there.
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
Number 59, another one taken too soon. Ray Traylor, the Big Boss Man.
Oh yeah, he was big in WWE, he was big in WCW, UWF. He was just starting out, but he was always focused. He was always in character. He was always professional, and yeah, he's one of those good, nice, do everything right guys. The All-American WWE guy, if you want to call it. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Number 58, we talked about him earlier today, Bam Bam Bigelow.
Bam Bam, go, brother, definitely, man. Mr. Tattoo head, brother, yeah, man, without a doubt, brother. Yeah, with his size, with his physique, what a strong son of a gun he was. But his work ability, his work... just what he did, not only in WWE, but all over, man. Something went wrong there somewhere, but, yeah, definitely.
Okay. Number 57, another one we were talking about before off camera, Kevin Sullivan.
Malachi, the Purple Haze, Kevin's one of those guys that goes into the office and he takes over. He hot shots a territory and then he leaves and it goes to the shit. But he's been in business a long time. I got some, I'm not gonna say personal issues, but he's a backstabber. But we're not talking about, as far as getting into the Hall of Fame, I don't know, man. That's I'll leave that up to the fans. I think he should, but because of some of the shit he's done. He kind of has taken the business down sometimes, like degraded it to a point. And he's one of those guys that you go in and see, and it's no. You know that he's lying to you, and he's going like this, and you come out going like this. He's in the Gary Hart situation, and Jim Dillon, same thing. The biggest perfect bookers in the world. Bullshit, but they get you thinking what they want. And that's why I'm looking straight at the cameras. But I don't know. I'm not even going to comment on that.
Okay. Number 56, Dick Murdoch.
Dickie Murdoch, of course. What best punch I ever saw in the bit between him and Cyclone Negro. I don't know. That would have. That's it's not even a toss-up. Both of them, without a doubt, that punch, man. I mean, the first time I worked with Cyclone, I had seen him work. He was one of my idols when I was growing up, and when I was in El Paso, he used to come back from Japan and he used to design his suits. And first thing I did when first time I went to Japan, I went to the same tailor, because he gave me his name, he gave me his card, and I went to the tailor and said, I want a suit just like Cyclone, and I made it, brother. But he had this punch, man. He would hit you. You would see him work, and he would hit you in the face, and it seemed like, wow. You know, it's a work, but how in the hell did he not kill the other guy? And you know, and Dickie, he was so good that what I was trying to say, that's why I paused a little bit. We're talking about Dickie, but I was thinking the time with Cyclone, when we're talking about the punch, where he punched me in Albuquerque, New Mexico, first time I worked with him. He punched me that I thought he was going to knock me out, because I had never worked with him, and every time I saw him punch somebody and the other guy sold, I thought he beat the hell out of him. So when he punched me, I just closed my eyes, so I didn't see it. I didn't feel nothing, so I didn't sell it. And when we came out of the ring, he said, "Why didn't you, amigo? ¿Por qué, coño? ¿Por qué no la vendiste? Why didn't you sell it?" I said, "What, brother? I'm sorry, man. I didn't see it. I was expecting for you to knock me out, because I've seen your punches." That's how good he was. That's what Dickie Murdoch punched, the same thing. But yeah, Dickie, yeah, man, Dickie, you know, adopted son of Murdoch. What was it, Cowboy Murdoch? I can't remember the first name right now. But out of Amarillo, we used to go to his house. I'll tell you a good story, quick story about Dickie real quick. You know, Dickie, we grew up, we were about the same age. But man, he was a redneck. Oh God, a big redneck. And sometimes he talked to you, sometimes he wouldn't. He was very moody. But you know, after a while, I just said, the heck with it. So we're in a UWF territory, and we're in a flight. And I said, hey man, we're sitting next to each other. I said, hey, are you prejudiced? He says, no, why? I said, brother, I said, you know, you used to talk to me, then you don't talk to me. He said, well, don't you remember what y'all did? I said, what are you talking about? You and your brother Mondo, when you all came to Amarillo when my dad was alive? Frankie Murdoch. And I had a little dog, and your brother killed it? I said, what are you talking about? He said, yeah, I remember Mondo got the dog and killed him. And I said, well, I started laughing. He said, it wasn't funny then. I said, you know what, brother? I really don't remember. I remember kind of vividly going to see y'all. We were like in second grade, maybe third grade. But I don't remember about killing no dog. But I said, that's what it's all about, and you still have this grudge. But anyway, it was. I thought it was funny at the time, and we got our things settled out, and after that we became a little bit better talker. But Dickie was, you know, he was Dickie Murdoch, redneck, prejudiced, up from Umbarker, Texas, or Waxahachie or whatever. I don't know.
All right.
Does he deserve to be in? Yeah, I said yeah.
I already know what you're going to say on this one, I'm pretty sure. Number 55, Eric Bischoff.
Eric Bischoff, what has he done for wrestling but taking it down? Hell of a commentator, but Eric Bischoff, all he did was take the money from Ted Turner, pay a lot of these guys, and steal the boys from Vince McMahon when he really needed them. More power to Bischoff, but you know, no, hell no. He don't even belong in my business. He belongs in a weasel suit. He should be the manager, not the weasel. You can't take that out of Bobby Heenan, the name, but you can put him surely in a weasel suit, because he's a weasel. Yeah, he's a leech. You can see that right now. He's leeching off of TNA. Leeching, and I don't know what they still got him. But oh well, man, he's milking that cow, and he's whatever.
Number 54, Brian Pillman.
Oh yeah, Brian, good man. Good man. Fortunately, he left us also at a young age. You know, again, demons here and there, but we all have that, one way or another. Definitely one of the best, most athletic, more athletic wrestlers, and good charisma, money seller, box office. Yes.
Okay. Number 53, one of two females on the list, Elizabeth.
Oh, brother, there's no question about her. Just her beauty alone, man. What a beautiful girl. You know, actually, if you talk about divas, probably the first real diva, whatever diva means. But she was good. She was her character, and she was a sweet person in real life, which, you know, is not one of the assessments, but I think I would throw that in. And she played right along that Macho Man thing, brother, which is probably one of the best, better, one of my favorites characters, and then I'm marking out, but that's all right. Mm-hmm. Macho Man and Elizabeth, they just had it all, brother. Of course, they were at that right time, but yeah, no doubt about that. Right. Queen Elizabeth.
Number 52, Pat O'Connor.
Definitely, brother. Are you kidding me? I mean, Pat O'Connor, you know, a lot of people don't remember him, and I saw him wrestle. Very good wrestler. Had good facials. His facials were not like, they were more like a smirk, you know, like an English facial. An Englishman, you know, when he does a facial, you know, he's like a. But he would get to the people. He had like a sophisticated facials that were great. And does he deserve to be great champion several times for NWA? Does he deserve to be in there? Yes. Shoots in both of them.
Okay. The second woman on this list, the highest ranked woman, number 51, Trish Stratus.
Oh, brother. She's still around. She could still be working, man. And I mean, she is a plus to her business she's doing now, to her workout, to her video, and certainly to the wrestling business. I mean, that girl will give you 110%, and you will see her work, and her work in the ring was like bam, bam, just tight, and the way that we were taught, man. Yeah, brother. And a very good girl, and very gracious, very humble. My personal what's it? When I remember her and my relationship with her, as far as when I was with WWE, that I got that from her. You know, very, very sociable, very charismatic, very likable, and God, her work was. My dad always said, women don't deserve to be in this business. In a way, I agree. In a way, I don't. You know, now of course, it's changed a lot. There's still some that shouldn't be in this business, just like there is men too. But Trish was a pleasure to see, brother. She was enjoyable. Not only her face, her body, but her moves. She was so fluent. She was very. It was enjoyable. She was wrestling, and she was wrestling with beauty.
Okay, number 50, Wahoo McDaniel.
Oh, brother. I don't know why he's not in yet. You know what kind of an athlete he was, right, brother? He held a 99-yard punt return. He went to Oklahoma State. Is it Oklahoma State or Oklahoma U? Oklahoma guys, and well, the guys with the red uniforms. The one in Norman.
Oklahoma.
Anyway, you know, Wahoo was my buddy. We tag team a lot here with Joe Blanchard, Southwest Championship Wrestling. And he knows all the Guerreros. Been around all of us. He became a booker. Great athletic ability, and probably one of the best. I think that's where Flair got his shot from Wahoo. You didn't want to get shot by Wahoo. I'll tell you that right now. When I was booking LA, I booked Frank Monty out of There was two of them, one from the South and this one was from San Francisco territory. He came down, I booked him against Wahoo. Wahoo was coming in from Japan. And Wahoo chopped him, and when Frank Monty came down from the dressing room, he was like this. I said, what's wrong, Frank? He says, you son of a bitch, don't ever book me again. I don't want you to call me. I don't want to ever see you again. And we used to be, you know, there in San Francisco territory, LA territory, we used to see each other a lot, interchange talent. I said, what happened? That fucking Walker McDaniels, he just chopped the shit on. I don't want to. I thought he was ribbing. And he never called me again. I would call him and, you know, hey man, let Michael's. And I'm not the one that chopped you out, but you booked me against him. He never came back, brother. And he wouldn't. If there was a show I'd go, he'd hide. Because he just didn't want to. I wrestled Walker one time. I said, brother, don't you even chop me. Because I'll fucking get, you know, sorry, excuse my language. I'll get a gun and I'll shoot your ass, man. I mean, you know, I'm not afraid, but people come down paralyzed. Is he in the Hall of Fame? Definitely he should be.
Okay. Another former champion, although for a very brief time, Stan Stasiak.
Yeah, Stan, the Heart Punch Man. You betcha, man. What, world champion twice up there?
Once.
Once. Well, like I said, anybody that was WWE in my, or WWF or whatever, deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Yes. And a very funny man. Very funny. In the dressing room, oh my goodness. Very funny.
Number 48, friends of yours again, the Rock and Roll Express.
Oh yeah, man. Ricky and Robert. I mean, they have terrorized they're still doing it. They're still up there, man. Ricky looks like he's got a face like a retired clown now, you know. But he still draws money, man. I love him. They're good guys. What workers, man. Hector and we had some awesome matches with him. Never got paid in main event money, Bill Watts. But we were the main event. We'd tear the house down every time. But definitely him and Robert Bolt. Rock and Roll Express up there. Yeah, Ricky and Robert Bolt, yeah.
All right, number 47, another friend of yours, who's unfortunately fallen on a bit of hard times right now, Kamala.
Kamala, Walla Walla, as we call him, our friends, the friends call him. Sorry people, this is like number 50, almost 50 and but I'm still alive. Kamala, brother, is perfect for his gimmick. Very soft-spoken. People that don't know him, people that know him, know what I'm talking about. He would go into any territory, and he would get over. He wouldn't have been going in an interview because he's like, "Hey, brother, how are you?" But he always had his manager. But in the ring, he was, he would do whatever it took to get over. Wasn't very athletic as far as, you know, doing all these moves like a one-man gang and stuff, but he was very athletic enough to get him over, to get you over. I don't care if you were big, white, green, small, or whatever. He'd get you over. He did his job. Yes, without a doubt.
All right, number 46, someone who probably, if he was invited, would turn it down, Larry Zbyszko.
Larry deserves to be in there just because he told Vince to go to hell. One of the first ones that, you know what, but you know, Larry was trained with Bruno, and then he turned against Bruno, and then he went to AWA, and he was a big hit there. He became their world champion. How can you not? And then he got married to Vern's daughter. So hell yeah, brother, just for that fact. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, then by that logic, Triple H should go in right now.
Triple H is already in, brother. He controls the Hall of Fame, brother. Put it that way. Figure it over now.
Number 45, Baron Von Raschke.
How can you not put Von Raschke in there, brother? You know what? To this day, we were wrestling the AWA in Las Vegas, Nevada. Mondo was doing the thing there for Vern, and he graciously said, Chavo, you know, I'd like for you to come in. Vern wants you in. I plugged you. And, sure. So we had a little good run there. Mondo had a bigger run because he was there. Vern really liked him. But anyway, in one of those trips, I had just caught somebody stealing one of our. I used to live in California, and they were stealing. We had these lions outside made out of concrete, and we were missing one. And then I knew they'd be back for the other one. And sure enough, man, and I caught him. And I had one by the arm, and the other one slipped away, and he started running. So, boom, I took off after him. And to make a long story short, I tore my quadricep, my quad. So when I got there, you know, I had kind of, you know, trying to recuperate, trying to therapy, and God, I forgot my quad pad. And Rashi said, "Here, brother." I still have it to this day, brother. Yeah, man, what a character he was. And you know, he was a great amateur, man. Big time amateur. But he was an act. Rashki didn't even have to. He was born with his gimmick, man. At the facials, I mean, he would wake up like that. You would be talking to him, it's like, could you please get out of character? He would tell me, hey, that's just the way I am, man. Sweet guy. Great person, man.
So number 44, I believe, is someone who's also another good friend to the Guerrero family, JBL.
JBL, oh man, JBL. You know, I got so much to talk about JBL, and he's a good man. Him and Eddie had some awesome matches. A lot had to do with JBL. Of course, I gave him the main angle, which was my mother's angle. That was all mine, Vince, and still haven't got paid for it. Of course, Bruce Pritchard, you took all the credit for it. But even Eddie told you. Even Eddie said it. It was my angle. Mine. Chavo Guerrero Sr. Classic. But you know what? JBL, man, he gives me credit to this day. He's a gentleman. He's not only successful in... How can you not put JBL in? He was a WWE champion. And he was with him all these years. And then he did the thing with... the tag team with
Ron Simmons.
Yeah, Ron Simmons. Ron Simmons is already in. How can you not induct him, brother? Plus, he went out in the business world and became a millionaire. I mean, that's ridiculously insane not to have him in there already. I mean, you know, this is a plus guy. You can say with pride, this guy is a WWE graduate. I would.
Okay, number 43, another person that you know very well, and you're responsible for a lot of his early success.
I know all these guys, brother.
Wow.
Well, most of them.
This one you know better than most, I would think. Tatsumi Fujinami.
Tatsumi Fujinami Sakala! Brother, like I said, he's an amigo. He's not a friend. He's up there with Roddy Piper. He's up there with Stan Hansen. In my book, he's up there with Haku. Tatsumi and I, we just kind of, and it happens not only in wrestling, but in any other walk of life. Love at first sight. Of course, we weren't lovers, but, you know, we clicked together. So we gelled as wrestlers. It was like the chemistry was there. Boom! It happens in music. It happens in whatever. And he wrestled number 2 man with Inoki all this time. Then he formed Muga, his personal company, and he is an icon in Japan. I don't see why he shouldn't be an icon in the WWE Hall of Fame. And you know, there's so much to talk about him. I could stay days here talking about it. And I've been doing this, what number are we on, 45?
We're 43.
All right, and I have to go take a leak, and I need to take a break and drink some water. And with that note, I shall return. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go away. It's intermission time.